February 1914. I made a terrible mistake. During an active imagination session, I became so absorbed in the vision, so identified with what I was seeing, that for 3 hours I couldn't find my way back. 3 hours. My body sat in my study in Küsnacht, but my consciousness was completely lost in the unconscious. When I finally returned, I was drenched in sweat, trembling, and I understood something crucial. The ego must never ever lose its position as witness. Today, I teach you the most important safety protocol in active imagination: the observer position. Master this, and you can explore the deepest reaches of the psyche safely. Fail to maintain it, and you risk what I narrowly escaped that February night. You see, there's a paradox at the heart of active imagination. You must be involved enough for the visions to be real, but detached enough to remember who you are. As I wrote, the ego must maintain its standpoint. If it gets absorbed, you are in the state of the insane. The insane, not metaphorically, but literally losing the ability to distinguish between inner and outer reality. Let me tell you what actually happens when you lose the observer position. The visions become your only reality. You forget you have a body, forget you're in a room, forget your name. You become the vision. And while that might sound mystical or appealing, it's actually the definition of psychosis. This is why I always said the point is to observe objectively what is happening, objectively. Like a scientist observing an experiment, involved, interested, but always aware you're the observer. Now, maintaining the observer position requires 3 anchors. First, body awareness. Never completely forget your physical form. Second, dual consciousness. Part of you experiences, part of you watches. Third, the return thread. Always maintain a connection to ordinary reality. Think of it like deep sea diving. You descend into the depths, but you keep one hand on the rope that leads back to the surface. Here's something I rarely shared. During active imagination, I would literally keep one finger moving slightly. Just a tiny movement. To remind myself, I have a body, I am sitting in a chair, I am Carl Jung observing. This tiny movement, this was my lifeline. My patient Christiana Morgan once asked, "How do I not get lost?" I told her, "Remember, you are watching a play. You may feel for the characters, be moved by the drama, but you never forget you're in the audience." Today's exercise will teach you to split your consciousness. Part of you will descend. Part of you will remain above, watching. This might feel strange, unnatural even. Good. Sit upright. Place one hand on your knee. Close your eyes. First, establish your observer. Say internally, "I am," your name. I am sitting in. Your location. I am practicing active imagination. Feel your hand on your knee. Move one finger slightly. This is your anchor. Now find your threshold state. But notice part of you remains watching, observing yourself entering the threshold. Begin the descent. Let the ground open. Start to drop. But as you fall, notice, who is watching you fall? You are the observer, the witness. You arrive in the underground space. Look around, but simultaneously be aware that you're looking. This is dual consciousness. If a figure appears, observe it. But also observe yourself observing. Notice your reactions, your emotions, your thoughts. But don't become them. Watch them. If the figure speaks or moves, let it, but maintain your position. You are the witness, not the vision, not the figure, the one watching. Stay here, practicing this dual awareness. Move your finger slightly. Remember your body. You are observing a psychological phenomenon. You are not the phenomenon. Now, from your observer position, choose to return, not because the vision fades, but because you, the observer, decide. Rise back up, the observer watching the return. Feel your body fully, your hand on your knee. Open your eyes. Notice the difference. You weren't lost in the vision. You were watching it. This is what I meant when I wrote, I took great care to try to understand every image, but I did so only after I had observed it. Observed first. Understood second. Never identified. The observer position is what separates active imagination from madness. It's what allows you to bring back treasure from the unconscious without drowning in it. Tomorrow, we learn the non-interference protocol, how to let visions unfold without controlling them while still maintaining your observer position. It's the most delicate balance in all of depth psychology. But master it, and you have access to the creative source of all art, all innovation, all transformation, without losing yourself in the process. Remember tonight, you are not your thoughts, not your emotions, not your visions. You are the one who observes. Always.